not going to let any dogs or water hoses turn us around. We aren't going to let any injunction turn us around.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today we welcome Mr. Derek Charles Fisher, a native of Winter Haven, Florida, a graduate of Bethune-Cookman University in Daytona Beach, Florida, where he received the Bachelor of Arts in Political Science and a minor in Public Administration. After he graduated from Bethune-Cookman, Mr. Fisher had the opportunity to work for both the Democratic and Republican parties, as well as Kaiser University in Daytona Beach, Florida, as Community Relations Coordinator. After 8 years in Daytona Beach, Mr. Fisher had the opportunity to return to the city of Winter Haven and work for the Department of Leisure and Environmental Services as Director of the Winter Haven Recreation and Cultural Center. After 4 months of employment with the Department of Leisure and Environmental Services, Mr. Fisher was asked to become the City of Winter Haven Director of Communications. Mr. Fisher eventually was promoted to Assistant City Manager. In February of 2013, Mr. Fisher was unanimously selected to be the City Manager for the City of the Winter Haven. Some of his affiliations include Bethune-Cookman University National Alumni Association, the Omega Phi Psi Fraternity Incorporated, Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors, as well as being affiliated with a number of other prestigious institutions. Without further ado, I would like everyone to extend a warm Broward College welcome to our keynote speaker, Mr. Derek Charles Fisher.
Jambo te pokine salum. Since we poured to our ancestors, I thought that it would be very apropos for me to greet you from the continent of Africa, where I said, Jambo woite. Pretty much it's a greeting of how are you doing? Hopefully life is treating you well. Woite. Jambo woite pokine salum. Hopefully you're doing okay. It's almost like somebody saying, K pasa, what's up? Something of that magnitude. So I wanted to greet you in that, but I am honored to be here on the campus of Broward College. I've had a long weekend throughout the state of Florida, and I'm glad to be here to talk with you about the dreamer's dream. Our very survival depends on our ability to stay awake, to adjust to new ideas, to remain vigilant. Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. If a man hasn't discovered something that he would die for, he isn't fit to live. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent in things that matter. An individual cannot really think of himself greater if he's not willing to serve. These are the words of the man. Yes, the man who was born January the 15th as Michael King. But his father changed his name in honor of the German reformer Martin Luther. These are the words of a Baptist minister who became the man behind the movement, the Civil Rights Movement. The man who would win the Nobel Peace Prize, founded the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, organized the 1963 March on Washington. The man, the message, the movement. The man who after his death would be awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom and the Congressional Gold Medal. The man who would have a U.S. federal holiday. The man who would have his names on streets, buildings, schools, and now on the National Mall. The dreamer's dream is alive. And you are a reflection of the dream. The president of Arista Records sent Anita Baker a letter saying, please don't quit your day job. But Anita Baker penned the words, I'm still giving you the best that I got. You guys are probably too young for Anita Baker. Okay. It was an overweight black boy with a dripping Jerry curl that was booed off the Apollo stage 3 times. And they said he had no talent and did not have the look that would make him an R&B sex symbol. But we know that a chair is not a chair unless Luther is sitting there. Some of y'all was made on Luther. The coach of his JV basketball team told him because of his frame and linky body, there is no way Michael Jordan could ever play basketball, that he should just go out for the baseball team. But numerous championship rings later and Nikes with his name on it, the dreamer's dream is still alive. Chase Manhattan Bank told her just selling cookies would not sell, but Miss Fields' cookies are sold everywhere. The dreamer's dream is still alive. Henry Ford might be known for his innovative assembly line and American-made cars, but in his early years, he filed for bankruptcy 5 times, but Ford is still alive. The dream is still alive. Bill Gates dropped out of Harvard and failed at his first business, Trafodata, but Microsoft is still doing well. Walt Disney was fired by a newspaper editor because he lacked imagination and had no good ideas. He started a business which ended up in bankruptcy, but he kept plugging away and eventually he founded Walt Disney World in Central Florida. The dream is still alive. Sidney Poitier was told after his first audition to stop wasting people's time and go and become a good dishwasher. Poitier vowed to show him and went on to win an Oscar. The dreamer's dream is still alive. The Beatles were told numerous times by record companies, "We don't like your sound," but their sound is now worldwide. I guess they knew that Drake would come out with a song started from the bottom. Now we're here. Steven Spielberg dropped out of junior high school, went back and was placed in learning disabled classes, but couldn't last more than a month. He dropped out of school forever. But look at Steven Spielberg now. If you don't believe me, ask the dreamer, whose life permeates in ways great and small, direct and indirect, every facet of our social and political world. Although the dreamer was assassinated many years ago, his hypnotic voice and unique vision linger in the background of every conversation that touches upon race, the state of Black America, and our future. The dreamer dreamed as a charismatic leader in Montgomery on December the 1st, 1955, when a 42-year-old seamstress and secretary of the Montgomery branch of the NAACP named Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat to a white man. The dreamer dreamed. The dreamer dreamed in his letter from Birmingham jail when he said, "We know through painful experience that freedom is never voluntarily given by the oppressor. It must be demanded by the oppressed." The dreamer dreamed when he said, "Give us the ballot. Give us the ballot." And now many of us don't even exercise our right to vote when we have been afforded that opportunity. The dreamer dreamed when a young 9th grade white student in 1958 sent him a letter saying, "Dr. King, I am so happy that you did not sneeze when you were stabbed in Harlem. For if he would have sneezed, would the dream live through us?" The dreamer dreamed when he said, "We must do a good job, irrespective of race, and do it so well that nobody can do it better." The dreamer dreamed when he said, "Freedom riders must develop the quiet courage of dying for a cause." The dreamer dreamed when he said, "Education must enable a man to become more efficient, to achieve with increasing facility the legitimate goals of his life. Education must also train one for quick, resolute, and effective thinking. The function of education, therefore, is to teach one to think intensively and to think critically. But education which stops with efficiency may prove the greatest menace to society. The most dangerous criminal may be the man gifted with reason, but with no morals." The dreamer's dream is still alive, and it is alive in you, the students. The students who go to a school here at Broward College on the South Campus, who see Broward College as a stepping stone, ranked as one of the top 10 community colleges in the U.S. by the Aspen Institute, accessible with more than one campus to choose from, and it remains the largest institution of higher education in Broward County, one who glides like a true Seahawk in the sky. The dreamer's dream has to be alive. The dreamer's dream has to have grit. Yes, grit. G-R-I-T. You got to have some guts behind it. The guts to stand up for what is right when it always seems like you should do something wrong. You've got to have a little R in you, a little resolve, that you will be a successful college student and not a failure. You've got to have a little I in you. Integrity. The only thing you will have when your friends are gone is your integrity. You can't let your integrity suffer for anything. Because my grandmother would say that one night of passion could lead to a lifetime of pain. You've got to have a little T in you, a little tenacity. The tenacity of a bulldog that will hold on until you let go. If you've ever seen a bulldog playing around, the bulldog refuses to let go. You've got to let go of the object before the bulldog. So you've got to have a little tenacity in you. Grit is your attitude. A belief that you can conquer anything and stick to it. Grit is to believe in yourself no matter what situations you may face. Not giving up or not giving in. And let me tell you a little bit about my grit. My grit would have me go through the public school systems of Polk County. My grit would have me to not be able to read or understand until in the 8th grade. Yes, my grit did not allow for me to read. I just kind of socialed my way through the academic setting of the educational curriculum for the Polk County School District. I would not be able to understand the aristocracies of the intellect. I would not be able to understand Shakespeare's sonnets when he would say, well, it is noble in the minds that suffer the slayings and areas of outrageous fortune. Yes, my grit, my tenacity pushed in about the 8th grade and said I wanted to be greater than what I am. But I knew that I had to have a little gut in me, that I had to do what was right no matter what. I had to resolve that I was not going to be a failure, that I was not going to slip and slide, dip and dodge when everybody else was trying to get their education. You have to change your perspective. Some of you are more concerned about Wale than you are about going to class. I know some of y'all don't want to hear that, but it's right and it's tight. You are a part of the dreamer's dream. You're more concerned about how do you do the red nose dance than you are about understanding the aristocracies of the intellect. You are a part of the dreamer's dream. You're more concerned about watching girls walking down the hall or on the yard instead of trying to find out how she is at the top of the class. Come on, somebody. You are the dreamer's dream. We must jump higher, run further, study harder, plan better, and struggle longer. Because tomorrow's mountains will be higher, but you will climb them. The rivers will be deeper, but you will cross them. The obstacles will be larger, but you will overcome them. The problems will be more complex, but you will solve them. You are the dreamer's dream. You are the dream of Dr. King. You have to have some grit. While I was driving from Central Florida on last night, I was listening to the radio, and a well-known individual by the name of Tahid Epps came on the radio. Tahid Epps was born September the 12th, 1977, and he hails from College Park, Georgia. He is very good at acrobatically dancing around metaphors of the hip-hop genre, tapping into the membrane of the intellectual street hustler who has a story to tell. Tahid goes by the name 2 Chainz, and the song I was listening to is I'm Different. And I want to let y'all know, yes, you are different. You are the difference maker here at Broward College South. Not because you got the best kicks on your feet, not because everybody's calling your name, but you're different because you're pursuing academic excellence as one of the top 10 community colleges in the country. Not here down south, not in the state of Florida, but in the country. So you've got to say to yourself, I'm different, yes, I'm different. I'm different, yes. And then when Drake comes on, you've got to say, I might have started from the bottom, but I'm here. Dr. King might have started from the bottom, but look at it now. He is a reflection of what we all are. When you look in the mirror, you should see greatness. You've got to have a little grit in you. You've got to end with that tenacity. Your gut has to tell you to do what is right. When others are trying to sit in the back of the room and clown around, you've got to think about all that Dr. King stood for. You've got to think about the walks he made, the jail cells he sat in. You've got to seize every opportunity. Dr. Oswald Perry Brunson, Sr., the former president of Bethune-Cookman University and Edwards College, would often say to students, don't allow your present limitations to determine your future possibilities. Well, what are your present limitations? Your present limitation might be you came from a single-parent home. Your present limitation might have been that you didn't have the best grades, but you got in school anyway. Your present limitations may say that you don't have 2 pennies to rub together to make 2 cents, but you're here. Your present limitations may say you may not get 3 meals a day. Your present limitations may say that you shouldn't even be in school, but you're here today. It's not where you line up, but it's where you wind up. Don't allow your present limitations to determine your future possibility. You've got to be like a turtle. You've got to stick your neck out. You are the dreamer's dream. Broward College students, have a little grit. This is the dream. Thank you.